Okay, moving on. Let's move on. Something totally different. Cha Eunwoo. If you don't know who this man is, where have you been? Where have you been? He debuted in the group Astro in 2016 under Fantasio Entertainment. This is his solo debut. He's done a lot of OSTs for dramas, but this is the official solo debut as a solo artist. He, as just like La Seraphim, he gave us 5 songs, an EP. It's called Entity, and the single is called Stay. I'm shocked by this one because I had no idea what to expect. And I think part of me was expecting like a really sexy like dance track with like minimal lyrics in the chorus, a lot of posing. He could have done that. And that's what I was picturing it. And I probably would have liked that. He went a completely different direction. And this really worked for me. Stay feels sad. The opening guitar, it makes me feel sad. And you immediately feel loss, like you know what the song's about. Um, Eunwoo doesn't have maybe the most powerful voice, but his voice works really well in a song like this. He's so sincere in the delivery. If you want to find someone that really emotionally connects to what they're doing, it's him. And again, someone who's like Korea's most handsome man, I would stereotype him and not think he has that emotional depth. And he proved me wrong. And I hate even saying that. It's like saying a pretty girl's stupid. I look at this handsome guy and I'm so shocked at how deep and emotional he is and vulnerable and dialed into conveying his emotion with sincerity. Amazing. Amazing. Um, he wrote the lyrics for this. He wrote the lyrics for every single song on this release. That also blew me away because we're dealing with an artist, real artistry. Where my last review, they had 14 songwriters on the songs. Every song on this release has 3 songwriters, including this one, and he is the lyricist. So, the song Stay, it's about longing, and it can be interpreted in different ways, maybe based on the listener's experience. It really does feel like a song from a K drama, so no surprise. He's done a lot of OSTs. But as a fan, I'm not sure this is about romantic love. Um, and I think a lot of you will be with me on this because if you're a K-pop fan, you know about Astro. And if you didn't stand Astro, you know what happened with one of their members. And I'm getting a trigger warning right now because with this release, we have to talk about it. I'm referencing Moonbin's suicide last year. So Eunwoo's group member passed away last April. It hasn't even been a year. And when I listened to this song, my thoughts immediately went to him. And, the lyric, I want you to stay here, it just felt so sad. And it's a really good song. This is a beautiful song. So I loved it, but I felt tinges of like, okay, this might not be about a breakup. This could be about grief. This could be about losing someone. And throughout the album, it gets more specific where it's clear what's happening in his world right now. Before we get there, let's talk about this music video. Let's talk about this music video because we need more K-dramas. Cha Eunwoo's been in K-dramas. This isn't like I'm telling the world something you don't know, that this guy should be an actor. Obviously, but he's a good actor. That opening shot in the car where he's smoking and he's crying. Oh, yes. Yes. I'm just going to clearly, if you know me and you're listening to this review and you're watching this, it's becoming obvious as I'm saying it. He is moving up my list. He's been my Astro bias, but like a hot guy who's also like really emotional and vulnerable and emotionally intelligent and mature. Oh my God. It's not fair. This guy cannot be like that good looking and also this. Leave some positive attributes for the rest of the men, Eunwoo. This is too much. You are just taking it all. Um, he's an amazing actor, very dramatic opening, beautiful shots in this video. I love the motorcycle in the desert. I love it when he's on top of the rocks. A lot of angst. He's sad. He misses his girl. You know, clearly this is about a breakup in the context of the music video. Or maybe even a more permanent loss. Who knows? But there's a love interest. And I thought the effect towards the end, where he's like running in traffic and all of the cars kind of blur, it's really artistic. It looks like a painting. Beautiful. They spent money on this music video. That's clear. He shot it here in LA. I think it was a 4-day shoot. This music video is stunning. Shout out to the creative team behind this one because, like, this is beautiful. And yeah, he should be an actor. Yes, 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 yes. I will watch every K drama moving forward that he is in because he is fantastic. I thought this was very effective and very surprising for a title track for a solo debut. He's going right for the heart from the very beginning. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I thought that this worked. Let's talk about the rest of the project. My album picks were You and I and Where Am I? I think this is a very solid EP though. So You and I, it really sets the tone for the album. It's like this jazzy, chill, introspective sound. It's been raining here the last few days in LA, and it was so nice to listen to this on these rainy days with a cup of coffee. Yeah, I'm here for it. And I think again we can hear vocally where his strengths lie. This was a very smart choice for him. Really nice sound, and there's a lot of maturity here. There's a lot of like grown maturity in the sound, in the production, and in his vocal delivery. I really, really like it. Not reinventing the wheel. There's not crazy K-pop dynamics. You don't need it. You don't need it. A good song is a good song. And I think they started things off really well. It let me know what the vibe was going to be like for the rest of the album. So You and I loved it. But we have to talk about Where Am I? Boof. Yikes. Okay. And I mean yikes in the best way. I mean yikes in I've been dreading getting behind the camera and microphone to talk about this since I heard it because I can't get through this without crying. It's such an emotional song. It's such a gut punch. So I don't want to cry all the time on the pod, but we'll see if I can get through this one. I love his bare vocal over those piano chords to start. He's immediately putting himself out there with beautiful vulnerability. This song is so pretty and devastatingly sad. Like all the songs on the album, he wrote the lyrics. Where I feel like the rest of the album is kind of circling the elephant in the room. This one directly addresses Moonbin's loss. And I applaud him for working through his grief in a public way like this. You know, I saw somebody say, well, he's still grieving. And it kind of made my blood boil. And I want to tell you why. He's still grieving, is still. It hasn't been a year since one of his best friends in the world, his group member brother, took his own life. It hasn't been a year. So if you're lucky enough that you've never experienced the loss of a loved one through suicide, I pray that you never do. But if you have, you know that never leaves you. That grieving is never going to leave you. The devastation of it will never leave you. So when fans are giving him advice on how to grieve, shut up. Shut up. There's no still, that's raw. That's raw, less than a year out for anyone that's lost someone, especially to a suicide. Losing someone to suicide, in my experience, is the hardest thing to deal with. You will never get over it. You will never stop grieving. So please just keep that in mind, especially with an artist that's brave enough to put himself out there like this. I feel lucky that he felt comfortable enough to be this vulnerable. But please, like in comments about grief and when you're leaving YouTube comments under his stuff, fans, please be cognizant. To me, it reads that you've never dealt with it. That's fine, but empathy goes a long way. Or maybe just don't leave a comment. Some of the lyrics, he says, like, through the half open window, I see your room lit up by chance. Familiar traces. I hope all of this is a dream. I sent a text asking if you're doing okay. Will you be holding your broken heart and wandering through the dark streets? Ugh. And the one that like killed me is he wrote and he sings, "The sky was clear as glass on my way to you. Though I hoped the sun wouldn't rise. The time we spent together, it all feels like a lie, like a sorrowfully beautiful dream that makes you cry. Where am I? Where am I? I keep calling you, but I can't see you. So where am I? Don't drift away. I wish I could hold you for once. I will see you again." That lyric about the sky was as clear as glass on my way to you. Eunwoo was here in California at Coachella when it happened. So he immediately got on a flight and flew back to Korea. And the imagery of that, I just kept picturing his face maybe pressed up against like the glass on the airplane. And I'll never forget the paparazzi videos and shots of him landing, power walking through the airport with tears in his eyes. Just the devastating visuals. It's very, very sad. So if you need a good cry, I recommend this album. And if you've lost someone, I recommend it if you want to feel those feelings. But if you don't, you might want to skip this song. Of course, it's my favorite on the album, but you know, this is it's a tough subject matter and it's tough to sing about, it's tough to write about, it's tough to talk about. But I'm blown away by his vulnerability, his openness, his talent, his sincerity. And I think with this whole project, we really get a feel of who he is as a solo artist. That was kind of my knock on Ten's album last week. And I like Ten's album, but it felt like all the songs were so different. I still don't know who he is as a solo artist. Eunwoo, I know who you are. And it surprised me. It surprised me. There's a lot of depth here. The last song on the album, You're the Best, felt like a direct song to Moonbin. It felt like he was singing to Moonbin. And it's a very beautiful song. Really pretty and very heartfelt. So this whole project felt like listening to somebody process some grief. And I applaud him for that. And I love it. But, in the first couple songs, we did get a little bit of a different feel. So it's not, I want to say that if you haven't listened to it, this isn't like 5 heavy, depressing songs. The first couple songs are a little bit more upbeat and not really about this. And then the last like 3 songs, kind of now we're getting into it. But I would say it's really worth a listen. I highly, highly recommend this. Anytime you make somebody feel a certain way, you've done your job as an artist, right? Anytime. For me, I'm excited when I hear a song and immediately feel the emotion in my stomach, in my chest. I feel it. That doesn't have to just be a sad song. That doesn't have to be a sad song. Sometimes, like the sassy, fun songs, put on a Blackpink song, I feel like I'm the hottest bitch in the room. Espa, Better Things, yes. Like you feel something. You emotionally connect to a song. It doesn't always have to be sad. I think the sad ones stick with us because those aren't emotions that we maybe feel and express every day. This made me feel a lot. And to that I say bravo. I could tell he poured his soul into this and it was worth it. This is a great project. I'm blown away by this. The fact that he wrote every single song. It's not fair. Save some talent for the rest of us. So talented. He gave us heart, vulnerability, and a strong sense of self. For me personally, this was a tough review to do. And I think like a lot of people listening and watching, uh, Moonbin is missed. He's really missed. And as a fan and as someone that consumes so much of this music in this world on a daily basis, that was a devastating loss. And then on a personal level, you know, some of us can relate to this. And it's a very, very difficult subject matter. So if you can relate to it, I'm sending you a lot of love. And if you can't, I pray that you never have to. Bravo to Cha Eunwoo for working through it in a public way. He cried this past weekend when he was singing Where Am I can't imagine writing it and getting on stage. And there's no way I would get through that song without crying. So thank you for showing this hot, masculine man can be sensitive and it's okay to cry and talk about your feelings. Just in doing that, you're saving people. And that's wonderful and amazing. Yeah, this project was really impressive. Take away the emotional toll, take away everything on that side. These are good songs. These are just good songs and they're performed well. And he wrote them. So, talent, yes, I'm here for this. It's time for my rankings from Cha Eunwoo's debut solo EP. He gave us 5 songs. These are my rankings from least favorite to favorite. I've got to be honest with you though, this was a really strong debut. I vibe with this. I really, really liked this. And I applaud him for writing the lyrics to every single song and for showing us so much bravery and vulnerability. Number 5, effing great time. It was okay, but not my favorite. Number 4, you're the best. Beautiful. Number 3, you and I. What a way to open the project, open the album. I love this vibe. Number 2 was the title track, Stay. I really liked this. That music video was gorgeous. But my number 1, it's Where Am I? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I cried every single time I listened to this song this week and barely got through that review without bawling. This is a beautiful project. Thank you for being so brave, open, and vulnerable. This man is like more than a triple threat. So much talent. It's not even fair. Congratulations, Cha Eunwoo. I really, really liked this solo project, and I'm excited to hear more and to see what else he comes up with in the future. I think he's got a bright future as a solo artist.